everyone, to our last episode of our last episode of Table Talk for the night. This time we are going to be looking at Red Harvest from Warcry. I am your host, Jake Combs, and Warcry by far is one of the best games that I've ever played from Games Workshop. So the fact that they have a new starter set has me very excited. I'm really looking forward to getting this built up and played and getting in there and trying out the new Dark Oath team as well as the Tarantulas Brood. Anytime that we have new chaos stuff has me excited, so looking forward to this. This is currently available for pre-order. It will be released this coming Saturday. And I believe we've already missed the window where you're guaranteed to get a copy if you pre-order it by a certain date, but I'm willing to bet that they're going to have it on hand based on the fact that you can still get the Catacombs box. Now, if you are watching all of the videos, you will notice that this is the third video that we're filming tonight, and that each of these were sent to us in advance by Games Workshop for the purpose of our reviews. So I wanted to say thank you to them for sharing those with us. And then, so we're going to go ahead and get started with Warcry Red Harvest. Now, we're going to go ahead and divide each stack as we take them out. Now, what I expect is we're probably going to have like 1 or 2 sprues per faction for the models, and then the rest is going to be terrain. So right here, this is our Tarantulas Brood, and just looking at them, there is a ton of detail on these models, like with the spider swarms, the kind of grassy skirts that they have, or kind of kilts, and then with like the spider like heads that they have. Just so much detail on these guys. And then in that same stack we have 4 Sprues of Terrain. Now this one looks very familiar. I don't know if it's the exact same sprue layout, but the pieces do look very much like the ones that we had in the first box set, as well as I'm pretty sure we had some of these in Catacombs as well, as far as like these kinds of barricades. I don't remember if we had the walkways in Catacombs or not, because it's been a while. But then we have a lot of new terrain as well. This is kind of set up for a mine. And then like right here we have like one piece that looks like a giant demon head carved out of stone with some runes drawn on it. Looks like a couple of those that either connect together or are used as like scatter terrain of some sort, possibly part of the like the pump that they have. But like the wood grain on these, the wood wheel, there's so much detail on these pieces. I mean, these things are going to look really nice, especially like if you're using like the contrast paint, so that way it fills in the recesses with that darker shade and stains the outside. So you're going to get a lot of really great shadow effects using that paint on these. And this is some of our platforms as well as some of our supports for that kind of drill or pump or whatever it is. And looks like some of it's been repurposed for this sake. But again, just so much detail. I really love this platform right here. Looking at underneath, like you see some like broken wood panels and such. So they definitely have gone above and beyond with the terrain detail itself. Now there's a second of that sprue as well. Now we go into the other side, and looking at it, we have 3 Sprues of Terrain and then 1 for the Dark Oath team. Now here are our chains for that drill or pump or whatever it is. And then we have these buckets which look like they might be filled with like like ore like connected to the chains is my guess, as it's basically going to dump onto like a conveyor or something. And here we have the actual kind of slides for the ore that was being mined, some other walls, some more platforms and barricades and things. And again, even here, still a ton of detail. I think, like, looking at the level of detail on these pieces, they probably have more detail on these few sprues than they probably did in the entirety of the terrain box for the first Warcry game. It's been a little while since I looked at that terrain, and I do remember it being very detailed, but I definitely think they've gone above and beyond this time. Which I know that's the second time I've said that. But I mean, these sprues are extremely impressive. I mean, even underneath, there's a ton of detail in most of these underneath parts you're not going to see unless you're actually picking them up and looking for it. And then we have our Dark Oath team. You know, not nearly as much detail as the Tarantulas Brood, but it's still got a lot of detail on there anyway. A lot more than what we saw with some of the kill team stuff that we looked at earlier. And definitely looking forward to them. I know that Dark Oath seem, well, I don't know, but it seems that Dark Oath is going to be replacing the kind of the generic marauders that you'd have with Warhammer, or sorry, with Chaos. And doing these guys, unless there's going to be an FAQ change, they don't have like the cult keyword, so they wouldn't be having the same abilities as the other Chaos warbands if they were used. Now we have our insert. And then we have our tokens, our ruler, and our base. Set that aside. Or when I say our base, I mean our playmat. Then we have our actual bases. We have the updated rulebook. And then our assembly guide. And then we're going to look under the flaps. Here we have a bag of our dice. So go ahead and put that back. And then we have our cards. So this will be our abilities and our stat cards for the different teams. So here's our Dark Oath Savagers. And then we're just going to go ahead and look at one of the triples, Furious Rampage. You roll a dice for each visible enemy within 3 inches. On a 3 to 4, allocate 1 damage point to the fighter being rolled for. On a 5 to 6, allocate a number of damage points to the fighter being rolled for equal to the value of the ability. So it definitely sounds like a good way to get some bonus damage in against some of your enemies. And then one thing I like is that we have this cardboard insert that helps protect those pieces from getting bent. Then we have the Tarantulas Brood. One of their triples is Envenomed Projectile. Basically pick a visible enemy fighter within 6 inches, roll 2 dice. For each 4 to 5, allocate a number of damage points equal to half the value of this ability, rounding up. For each 6, allocate a number of damage points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. So basically a way to get some long range damage in. Looking at the assembly guide, you know, it's definitely very thick, like the Kill Team one was that we looked at before. It is the multi-tone style where you have the different colors representing the pieces that you put on last, so you can get a better idea of where the next ones are going. Now, with the Dark Oath, they do remind me a lot aesthetically of the Spire Tyrants. So you're definitely going to want to paint them in some other kind of outstanding color that doesn't clash with the Spire Tyrants, because otherwise some of those guys look like that they will easily get confused as far as, you know, which army they belong with. And then we go into our terrain assembly. And like I said, there's a ton of terrain in here. Definitely looking forward to getting this thing built up. The thing that was a demon head is actually what holds the chain on the pump. And then like even here, you can also change the layer or the height of where that slide goes for the ore. Now, from what I've been told, other than just adding the images and the specific rules for the new warbands, the overall rules are still exactly the same. Looks like we do have some new missions. We have the character generation section, and then our general rules at about page 78 for the general gameplay overall. There's a lot of detail in here. Now this rulebook does seem a bit more wordy compared to the Kill Team one, but you know, you do also have a lot of full color army spreads in there, so you can use them for reference as well, and some good identification for the different parts for the game. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead and open up our mat and our tokens. So here are our tokens. Nothing fancy there. And our ruler as well. And then with our base, aesthetically this is going to go much more with this terrain than, like, say, combining it with one of the other ones. And we have a lot of lava, kind of some rock pits, things like that to look at. Just a lot of good looking detail that matches the overall aesthetic of the set. Now again, these models are crazy detailed, beyond anything that we've looked at tonight. And again, you know, Warcry is by far one of the best games I've ever played from Games Workshop. I love the dynamic play style. I love the models, the fact that you can have a small skirmish game using, you know, just a small handful of troops, which allows you to try out new type of armies real easily without having to you know, purchase a ton of models to really give them a good try, because you can just do, you know, 5, 6, 8, 10 models depending on the warband you're using, and still have a full team, be able to get the full play experience. And then if you really enjoy them, it's a great starting point for your first models for building that actual army as well for Age of Sigmar. So really excited about this box. Out of everything that they sent me, this is probably the one I was looking forward to the most. Wanted to say thank you to Games Workshop for sharing these with us. Also, thank you guys for watching as always. This is the last video for the night. We're going to be uploading all three pretty much simultaneously, so they might get posted a little out of order. We'll see how that goes. But that's it for tonight. Thank you guys all for watching. Next week we should have some other items to unbox, possibly from the new Black Templar models that are coming out for 40K. So something to look forward to. If not, then might be doing some of the Barnes & Noble stuff that we haven't gotten around to yet. So some things to look forward to for sure. But again, that's it for tonight. Thank you guys as always for watching, and I will catch you all next week. Good night.